The people at Truckstop then teamed up with the boy Mark the Mentor. Are you ready to take your trucking business to the next level? With Truckstop Pro, you get access to the best load board in the game, giving you the tools to find higher paying loads and streamline your operation. And right now, you can try the Pro plan free for 30 days, a $159 value. Click the link in the description to claim your free Pro plan and start making smarter moves for your trucking business today.
Warning: the following content contains strong language and may not be suitable for children. This content is primarily for adults, as this is a trucking channel and truckers have filthy mouths. Please don't tweak if I say. Viewer discretion is advised.
What's going on? What's going on? Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys come on in and hit that like button. Let me know where you guys are checking in from. How's everybody doing? Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans. It don't seem like Veterans Day, though. The market is open. Schools are open. I thought this was a federal holiday. It was a federal holiday when I was coming up. Maybe it still is a federal holiday. But the public schools are open. The market is open, so I don't know. Are we not honoring our vets anymore? Is this not a federal holiday? I don't know. It seems kind of weird. Schools are open. But nonetheless, how's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let's get those likes up, please. Let's get those likes up. Let's get started. Because I want to get in and out. Shout out to Great Polo. Shout out to everybody that's part of the MGM game. Shout out to Happy Deliver. What's going on? What's going on? Happy Veterans Day to everybody. Happy Veterans Day to everybody that served in the military. Goat Logistics, what's going on? St. Louis, what's going on? SD Walt, represent Cleveland, what's up? Jonathan, what's going on? Pippi, shout out to all the moderators. Verdine, Frederick, how you doing? Pierre, what's going on? Rashad Moore, how you doing? Shout out to Sharks World. Shout out to Kirk. Shout out to AJ335. What's up? How's everybody doing? Come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Hit the like button, guys. We got 30 something people in here. We got 14 likes so far. Let's get those likes up. All right, so today we're gonna be talking about money. We back to the money, man. We back to the money, man. We back to the money. We are back to the money. All right. We focused on some things last week, but this week we back to the money. We are back to the money. How's everybody doing? Make sure you guys come on in. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Let Mark know where you guys are checking in from. How's everybody doing today? All right, let's get back to the money, y'all. Let's get back to the money. All right. Because a lot of people think they get into it, but you ain't getting to it. You know why I know you ain't getting? Because you don't even know how to calculate it. You don't even know how to calculate it. All right. We see this over and over again. We're going to pull out the whiteboard today. So I'm getting the whiteboard together really quick. And we're going to go over this. We're going to go over profit margin and we're going to go over ROI. All right. We're going to talk about profit margin today and we're going to go over ROI. We're going back to school today. All right. We busting out the whiteboard today. Now I'm going to give you this formula. I might put it on members only, depending on how I feel. All right. And this is a formula you need to keep in your back pocket. This is going to help you determine what your profit margin is. And it's also going to help you determine your return on investment. Profit margin, return on investment are two different things. All right. All right. So first, let's talk about the profit margin. Profit margin is the percentage of revenue that turns profit after all expenses are deducted. All right. So after all expenses are deducted, profit margin is the percentage of revenue that turns into profit after all expenses are deducted. It tells you how efficiently your business is managing its expenses relative to its revenue. All right. So you measure profit, your profit margin on a more day-to-day basis. Totally different from return on investments. I think a lot of people think profit margin and ROI, which is a return on investment, is the same thing, and it's different. The formulas are completely different. Return on investment measures the gains or loss generated on an investment relative to the amount invested. All right, so you measure ROI. You can measure the ROI on, let's say, the total amount you invested in the business to get started, and then let's say like a year later you come back and you want to see what the gains are on the money that you invested, if you profited or you lost, right? So more of a measure on how the business is doing in totality. Or you could measure return on investment like this. Say you buy a truck, and let's say the truck costs X amount of dollars. And let's say in a year's time, you want to come back and see what the return on investment on that truck. You want to see what that truck actually netted. And then you can use the formula to determine what the return on investment was for that truck. All right. So profit margin and return on investment are two different things. All right. Remember, profit margin focuses on the efficiency of revenue generated more daily, covering costs, right? And ROI focuses more on the efficiency invested. It focuses more on the capital, let's say the initial capital invested. How do I want to say this? ROI focuses more on invested capital that generates profits. So more on a total base or totality base. So like I said again, try not to get you confused because it can be confusing. ROI, look at ROI. Let's say I'll get into it when I show you the formula. I'll give you a better example. All right. So let me pull my whiteboard up here. Let me pull my whiteboard up. Let's see. Do I want to come on this screen here? All right, boom. Let's do it on the big screen. And then let me put this here. And then let me switch over to my stylus pen. Let's pull this over here. Pull over to my stylus pen. Let's see. All right, so boom. Let's do the formula for profit margin. All right. So remember, profit margin is something that you can measure more on a short-term basis. You could do your profit margin for the day, profit margin for the week, your profit margin for the month, profit margin for the year, right? It's the percentage of revenue that turns into profit after all expenses are deducted. All right. So All right, here's the come on, man. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right, so here's the formula for profit margin. We're gonna go profit margin, and excuse my writing because I don't use this thing often. All right, so profit margin. All right, so it's gonna be your net. Let's do this. It's gonna be your net. Excuse my handwriting, okay? Your net profit, right, over revenue, all right, times 100. All right. So excuse my handwriting. I'll just repeat it. So profit margin is going to be net profit over revenue divided by 100 times 100. So profit margin equals net profit divided by revenue times 100. All right. So let's do this. For instance, let's change this color. Let's change this to red. Let's say you got a business, right? And let's say you made $100,000 for the month, right? You make $100,000 for the month. Let's see, 100,000. Let's see, 100,000 for the month, right? Let's say, and it cost you 80K to run the business for that month, right? So your expenses was 80K, all right? You grossed 100K, but your expenses, you grossed 100K, but your expenses was $80,000. So it cost you 80,000 to make 100,000, right? So you got your formula up here, right? So now we want to determine what was the profit margin on this 100K gross that it cost you $80,000 to make this 100K, all right? So we know what's left, 20,000, right? So, but we want to get the profit margin. So we're going to take this, all right? So boom, our net profit was 100,000. So let's do it like this. So net profit, all right? So we got 100,000, right? Because we following this formula up here, right? You follow me? Oh, my bad. Hold on, guys. This stylus. Hold on. Let me get this stylus pen. Let me see. Give me a second, y'all. I'm not used to working this. Let me move this over here. All right, there you go. Let me get this stylus pen. All right, so we got our net profit. I'm sorry. All right, so our net profit we know is 20K. All right, and then over our revenue is 100K. All right, and then we're going to times that times 100. All right, so boom. Now what I want to do, give me a second, that I got to switch over. I want to pull up a calculator so you guys can see. Hold on. Let's pull up a calculator here. All right, so boom, we got a calculator over here. So we know we grossed 100K, right? Our expenses were 80K. So we know we net profit was $20,000. So let's get our profit margin. So we're going to go 20,000 divided by, because we're using a formula, 100,000, which was the revenue. That's going to equal 0.2, and then we're going to times that times 100. All right, so that's going to give us 20. All right, so we know our profit margin is 20%. All right, hold on, I got to switch back over. All right, boom. All right, so we know our profit margin. And I'm going to explain this one more time because I'm switching from mouse to stylus. And I'm kind of all over the place because I don't use this that much. And for some reason, it's not firm. It's real loose. All right, it's kind of squiggling all over the place. All right, so once again, this is the formula for profit margin. All right, and then we're going to get into ROI. So profit margin is net profit divided by revenue times 100. All right, so we want to just keep the numbers easy for the example. That's why I used 100,000. Let's say your box truck business grosses 100,000 for the month of October, right? And your expenses was 80,000. So 100,000 minus 80, we know that's going to equal 20, right? Boom. So this is what your net profit was. So we're going to go 20K, right? and we're going to go over 100, right? Because here's the formula up here: net profit, which was 20K, because 100 minus 80 is 20. So 20K divided by the revenue, which is 100K, times 100. This is the formula. So net profit divided by revenue times 100. So that 20K, which was the net profit that came in, divided by the 100K, which was the gross, right? Times 100 equals 20%. So that's a 20% profit margin. All right. So profit margin is a good measure when you want to measure something more short term for the month. It's not a measure on what you actually invested into the business. So once again, ROI, you want to know what your return on investment is for the actual business. If you invest a certain amount into the business at the initiation of the business, and let's say a year later, you want to see what your return on that investment was, that's ROI. You measure your profit margin based on the income that's coming in. All right. Y'all understand that? Because it can be confusing. So I could break it down again. And I know some of y'all say, oh, I'm not good at math, and it's confusing, and this, that, and the third. So I get it. All right. Profit margin is the percentage of revenue that turns into profit after all expenses are deducted. Once again, profit margin is the percentage of revenue that turns into profit after your expenses are deducted. All right. Profit margin, ROI, two different things. All right. You're going to be measuring your profit margin more often than you'll be measuring your ROI. All right. You should get really advanced. Hold on. Somebody calling me. You should get really advanced. Make sure you guys hit that like button. You should get really advanced too with the ROI. You can go as far as the ROI, just not seeing what your return on investment is just for the business in total. And we're going to get to that in a minute. But you can also see what your ROI is for your each piece of equipment. You should be measuring your ROI for your equipment as well. Man, okay, you buy a truck. Man, how much return on investment have I gotten for this truck? You want to know. Like, for instance, I still own 2 trucks. I know what the return on investment is for those trucks since the inception. I keep account of that. I've always kept account year by year, truck by truck. That's why we have software for those things. We want to know what the trucks are making relative to what we invested or what we purchased the equipment for. This also helps measure, okay, the 2 new vehicles I bought versus all the used vehicles I bought. I can see a return on investment for the used equipment in comparison to the new equipment that I bought. Obviously, the return on investment has always been a lot higher for the used equipment than it was for the new equipment, right? But you want to see what you're getting back for your equipment, right? All right, so boom. Let's clear this. Let me check the chat. Got you confused with the wording. Good looking. All right, so boom. I'm gonna explain it one more time. All right, so profit margin is the percentage of revenue that turns into profit after all expenses are deducted. Let's run through this again. Let's run through it one more time. All right. Let me delete this. I don't want to delete this. Let's delete this. Let's just delete the whole thing. All right. So let's start from scratch because people came in late. Hit the like button. We're going to run through this one more time before we get into ROI. All right. Well, people that came in late, this is the formula. All right. We're going to do profit margin first. That's the percentage of revenue that turns into profit after expenses are deducted. All right. So boom. Let's go profit margin. This is the formula. And forgive me because I'm working with a stylist and it's kind of, it's not firm for some reason. Profit margin. All right, so here's the formula. I don't like that. Give me a second. All right, so here's the formula. Net profit over revenue, right? Times 100. All right, boom. So, for example, let's say your box truck business made 100K in October, right? And your expenses was 80,000. All right. So if your expenses was 80,000, that's what it cost you. You made 100, but it cost you 80, right? So you know you got to deduct that 80 from that 100, all right? That's going to leave you with 20,000. So that was your net profit for the month of October, all right? So now here's how we calculate our profit margin, all right? So what we're going to do is, now that we got the actual number, we're going to go net profit, right? We're going to go net profit. Y'all follow me? I want to make sure, because this is going to be the last time I do this one. Okay, nobody said something. So, all right, so net profit. All right, so we got, what was our net profit? It's 20K divided by our revenue, which is 100K. And we're going to times that times 100, right? So let me bring out my calculator again. Excuse my handwriting. All right, let me bring out this calculator. Where is it at? Boom. All right, so let me put that up here. So we know we made 20K. That was our net revenue. I mean, our net profit, right? All right, we're going to divide that by 100,000, right? Because that was the gross, right? That's going to leave us with 0.2, right? Now we following this formula right here. This is the formula. Net profit over revenue times 100, all right? So no, boom. So now we're going to times that times 100, and that's going to give us 20%, all right? All right, so let's change this color. Let's go blue. So our profit margin is 20%. All right. Who's that said they didn't get it? All right, is credit. All right, time refusing. All right, so it can be a little confusing. All right, but here's the thing. You got to get it. So hopefully the second time I went through it, that's why I made different colors and shit like that, so that you can kind of get it. So we're going to go through it one more time. Profit margin is equal to net profit over revenue times 100. And we're using easy numbers for the example. Let's say you want to determine what your profit margin is for the month of October. Let's say your box truck business made 100,000. Whatever your box truck business gross is what you want to put obviously first, your total gross. Then however much it costs you to run, whatever you spent in totality, that's what you want to deduct from the gross. So if you made 100,000 for the month of October and you spent 80,000, you're going to deduct the 100,000, which was your gross, minus your total expenses, right? So let's go over here. Let's go. So this is going to represent your gross. This is going to represent your expenses, right? And then this is what you're going to be left over with for that month, right? So your gross minus your expenses, and then this right here, this 20K or whatever your number is going to be, is what your net profit was, the whole number, right? Now we want to determine what our profit margin is. So now we're going to take our formula up here, right? So net profit is equal to 20K, right? Because that was what our net profit was after we deducted our expenses from our gross, divided by the revenue, which was 100K, times 100 is equal to 20%. All right? That's the formula. That's the formula, guys. That's the formula for profit margin. That's the formula for profit margin. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. All right, so now what we want to do, we want to determine what our ROI is going to be. All right, now ROI is different and it's a little bit more complicated. All right, profit margin should be relatively simple. All right, it's basic algebra. All right, now to some might be like, oh, it's confusing, but it's really just basic algebra. If you took algebra, you got formulas. This is similar to an algebra formula. All right, for the profit margin, the ROI, similar. All right, it's just a formula. All right, if you pay attention to the formula, you're just going to put your own numbers in there. All right, but ROI can be a little bit different because you're measuring the gains or the loss generated on your investment relative to the amount invested. All right. So, for instance, you come in with your box truck business with a set amount, right? Whatever that number is, right? And let's say in a year's time, you want to see what your return on your total investment, whatever that total number was that you invested to get started in a year's time, let's say you want to know what your return on investment is. That's how you measure a ROI. It's not the same as a profit margin. All right, so boom, let's go over here. Let me get my stylus here. All right, so here's the formula for ROI. Let's go black. All right, so y'all, let's see. Let me do it higher because I'm gonna put the calculator over here. All right, so ROI. All right, so net profit, right, over total investment. All right. All right. All right. Times 100. So the formula is the same, except you're just replacing profit margin with ROI, right? And then instead of revenue, it's going to be total investment. All right. And you're still timesing it times 100. All right. So the formula is similar. You're just swapping out total investment and revenue and profit margin and ROI. I know it sounds confusing, but you got to follow me. You got to follow me because this is very, very important. And you're going to have to go through this a bunch of times because it can be confusing. But you got to know these things. You need to know what your return on investment is for your business. You need to know what your return on investment is for your equipment as well. Not the same as profit margin. You can't run a business on the fly, especially if you want to scale. You can't scale and not knowing what your trucks are giving. You don't know what the return on investment for each truck is. You want to measure, okay, I'm getting this ROI for this truck. I'm getting this ROI for this truck. I'm getting that ROI for that truck. All right. This is what separates the boys from the men. You can't be running businesses on the just winging it out here in these streets. You can't be winging it out here in these streets. People that wing and they call themselves businessmen, they not really businessmen. We call them hustlers. Business is different. This is why certain demographics keep going up and up, and then certain demographics seem to stay stagnant because those demographics that keep going up, they do all this shit. You go into their office, you see ledgers and everything. How can you be a business person and you not keeping up with the bag? How can you be a business person and you not keeping up with the bag? All right, so boom, let's do the exercise like we did. Let me get my stylus here. Let's switch colors. Let's go with red. All right, so boom. Now let's say you invested 50 racks to start your business. 50K. 50K to start your business. All right. And after 1 year, you earned a net profit of $20,000. All right. So 50K to start your business. You earned a net profit of 20,000. So you spent 30. All right. So 50,000 to start. You earned a net profit of 20. So what we want to determine is what our ROI is for a business for that first year. All right. So all right, boom. So let's do that. All right, so boom. So we're gonna go back to our formula, right? We want to come up with our ROI. We're gonna go green because we in the money. All right, so boom, ROI. So our net profit is 20,000. All right. Our initial investment, right, was 50,000. Right? Because we're going net profit divided by total investment, right? Then we're going to follow the formula times 100. All right. What is that going to equal out to? We're going to pull up the calculator. What does that equal out to? I think it's 40%. My math serves me right off the top of my head. All right. So boom, we got 20K, right? Because that was our net profit divided by 50K, which was our initial total investment. That's going to leave us with 0.4 times 100. So 40%. All right. So what we're gonna do is, hold on. Where's my? All right. Let me see. Let's switch the colors here. Why is it? Hold on, y'all. Let me get this out of here. All right. Let's do this. All right. Let's do this. All right. There we go. So our ROI is going to be equal to, oops, I hate using this thing. That's why I'll never use it. 40%. Let's change this to blue. All right, so that's going to be our return on investment. So let's say we invested $50,000 into our box truck business or our cargo van business. All right, that was our initial investment. And at the end of the year, we had a net profit of 20K. All right, so we're going to go our net profit 20K divided by our total investment, which was 50K, right? And then that's going to leave us with a return on our investment of 40%. All right, which is pretty good. All right, which is pretty good. So those are the two formulas. All right, I was going to do this live stream last night, but I really wasn't up for it because I don't know. I think I was mentally drained, and I knew I was going to have to explain this a bunch of times, like I'm doing now, because it can be confusing. It can be confusing. All right, so that's the difference. Now, ROI is not something that you need to do daily, weekly, or monthly. I gave you two examples of when you want to measure your ROI. You want to measure it for your business in totality, and then you want to measure it for like large investments like trucks. All right, you want to know what your ROI is for each truck. You buy a truck. Let's say you buy a truck for 50,000. Forget the business. Let's say this example was for the actual truck. Let's say you bought a truck for 50,000, and after you run it for a year, that truck net profited 20K. So your return on investment for your truck, that truck's return on investment is 40%. So you got a 40% return on investment for that truck. If you bought a truck for 50,000 and it netted 20,000 for the year, net profit 20,000 for the year, following the formula, you had a return on investment of 40% for that first year, which is good. All right? Profit margin, totally different. All right? How's the roof done in that truck then? How's what done in that truck? What you mean the roof? How's the roof done in that truck? What do you mean? What do you mean how's the roof done in that truck? What was the typo? How was the ROI? I just did it. You could just take that same example. Just take the same example. Just take this example right here. Just take this number, 50,000, and just say 50,000 was for a truck. You went out and you bought a Freightliner for 50K. And let's say it cost you 30,000, that truck netted 20K. That truck netted 20K, right? So following the formula, net profit over total investment, your total investment for the truck was 50K. You netted 20K. So net profit, which was the 20K, over the total investment, which was the 50K, right? Is going to leave you a 40% ROI. So this is just a measure of return on investment. Or you can say, okay, you invested 50K to start the business. It doesn't have to be a box shop business. We're just using easy numbers for an example. You could be running a damn popcorn stand. Let's say this is a popcorn stand and you invested 50K initially, right? It costs you 30K in expenses, right? Let's say for the business, total labor, bills, whatever. All right. You were left with 20,000 net profit your first year, right? So following the formula, 20K, which was your net profit, divided by your total investment, which was 50K, times 100 is going to be 40%. So your return on your initial investment was 40% for that first year. All right. Listen, it's confusing. I know it's confusing. That's why they got formula. And that's why I want you to drive in your head that ROI and profit margin, two different things. Two different things. You got to understand the difference between both of them, but both formulas you need to use on a profit margin you should be using more frequently, ROI not so frequently, right? Profit margin is just a percentage of revenue that turns into profit after all expenses are deducted. After all expenses are deducted. So for instance, you running an account a day. Let's say you get a guarantee on it. It's $300 a day. It costs you $200 to run that contract. We just making it easy. I'm just doing the math in my head because I'm not going to pull up the whiteboard because I don't like using it for obvious reasons. I don't like using it. All right. So you got a guarantee contract. It pays you $300 a day. It costs you $200 a day to run, right? So if you do the math following that formula, it's going to leave you with a 33% profit margin. All right. So if you got a guarantee and you're running that guarantee 5 days a week and you're getting $300 a day, and each day it costs you $200, that's a 33% profit margin. So that's your profit margin for that particular contract. So that means you're net profiting about $100 a day. 33% is the profit margin. All right. Now, total different from an ROI, right? Because remember, profit margin is the percentage of revenue that turns into profit after all expenses are deducted. 300 is the gross, 200 are the expenses. So pretty much 1/3 is what you're making, which is equal to about 33.3%, right? So that's profit margin. ROI, right? It's different, right? You're measuring your gains or your losses generated on the investment, right? Relative to the amount invested. All right. So you want to look at your ROI like for the business in totality. I invested $100,000 into this business. What's my return on that $100,000? I invested $50,000 into this business. What's my return on my initial investment? I invested $100,000 into this truck. What's my return on investment on this truck? Do I have a good return on investment on this truck? All right. So it's different. You're measuring the gain or loss generated on the investment relative to the amount invested. You get it? Is it still confusing? Is it still confusing? Let's see. Hotshot Sam said that this is an example. You got to put your own numbers in. I'm just giving you the formula. None of the numbers up here are going to be your numbers. I have to give you an example. The formula is what you want to follow. The formula is what you want to follow. These numbers, you want to input your own numbers. So for the example that I just used for ROI, 40% for this example would be the ROI for this particular investment. All right. So you can look at this 50K, right, as the initial investment for a truck. We went out and we bought a 2020 Freightliner. It was $50,000. At the end of the year, that Freightliner profited us $20,000, right? So using the formula for return on investment, which is net profit divided by total investment times 100, our net profit was 20K because that's what we made, right? Divided by the 50,000 because that was our initial investment times 100, which gives us an ROI of 40%. So this is the formula right up here. ROI equals net profit divided by total investment times 100. Right? So this is what you want to focus on. This formula at the top. That's what you want to remember. And then let's say at the end of the year or when you buy a truck and you want to look at your return on investment for the year, you use this formula. Your net profit, right? What did the truck net? All right, because you should be keeping your books, you should be keeping your account. Everything should be broke down and itemized. And if you aren't going to do this stuff yourself, then you need to have an accountant and a CPA firm that will. All right. You need to know what you're making. You can't run a business when you'll never scale and be successful and continue to scale if you don't know this. That's why we see people try to scale, they fail because they haven't mastered the first truck. They're not accounting for the money that's coming in and the money that's going out in totality. Right? It's running a business is a lot deeper than what your favorite people make it out to be. This is why the failure rate is so high. Because people ain't doing this type of shit. You got to know what your company is making. You have to know what your equipment is doing. Because if your equipment not making no money, you need to figure out why. Or if this equipment isn't generating a good return on investment in comparison to another piece of equipment, you need to compare and contrast and determine why. You need to look at, whoa, you know what? We bought this truck used and we bought this truck new. Our return on investment on a used truck is higher than our return on investment on a new truck. So maybe our third truck or the next truck we go buy should be used. We're getting a bigger return on investment for our used equipment versus the new truck we went out or the new van we went out. This is how you get better. This is how you cut costs. This is how you make more money. This is how you ultimately become successful. This is how you enable yourself to scale. One of the main questions people ask me is when they go watch that montage where I show my journey is, how did I acquire so many trucks? I didn't acquire them by not knowing this shit. You cannot not know this shit and get to the point that I got to. You just can't. You can't wing it with that many trucks. You'll never get to that point by winging it. You just can't do it. I don't care what nobody tells you. You cannot. There's no such thing as luck. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know what's coming in. You got to know what's coming out. So you can know what to spend or what not to spend. You may not have it to spend, but you won't never know that if you're not keeping account for what's coming in and what's going out and what you're making. You need to know what you're making off. Listen, and I said this before in the live stream. You need to know what you're making off each person you got working for you. You need to know what each employee is grossing and how much it's costing you. So it's just not the business. It's just not the equipment. It just don't stop with the business or the equipment. You have to keep account for what your personnel is bringing in too. Like you should have accounting software for all this shit. Like you can't be a successful business person and have these big dreams like some people be coming up and telling me, and you not doing this shit. Or you don't know what it is, or you don't know the difference. Yes, it's confusing. Yes, there's some algebra. This is what you signed up for. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we say not everybody is meant to be a boss. We need some people to just be told what to do. If you're not going to do what you need to do, especially when it comes to the money, the reason why you started the business, man, forget all that shit people be talking about, all this whole change the trajectory, generation. That's bullshit. You started the business because one, you didn't want to work, right? Because somebody done told you stop working, you can do this on your own, which is the biggest bullshit I've ever heard in my life. All right. And two, you want to make more money because you were sold this dream that if you start a business, you can make more money. Not everybody's going to win. The people who not doing this type of shit, eventually you're going to fail. Once again, well, Mark, why are you saying that? I'm not saying shit. The statistics are telling you it. 85 to 95% fail off the ripple. So it's not me. The data is telling you that. 5 to 15% succeed. That's a very low number, a very low succession rate. So it's not me. I'm pulling the data. The people who continue to go up and go up and go up and go up because they can account for every dollar that's coming in and going out. They can account for every single dollar that's coming in and going out. I want to know what my margins are, and I want to know what my ROI is. And if you don't want to sit there and do it the long way, get software that'll do it for you. I suggest do it the long way. It's going to help you in the long run. We see what happens in today's society with all the technology that allows people to take shortcuts. You got people that can't even read an analog clock nowadays. If it ain't a digital clock, they can't tell time. And that's sad. So when you look at business the same type of way, an individual that's running a box truck business or a cargo van business, the person who's running their box truck business that's winging it, that's not doing this shit, that can't tell you what the operation cost is, they can't tell you what their profit margin is, they can't tell you what the return on investment for their business is, or the return on investment for their equipment, or the return on investment for their actual employees. Your employees are investments. You're investing into them. You make an initial investment. Just hiring them, it costs you money. I've told you stories plenty of times, and some of you that have been following the channel for the entirety of the channel's existence, you've heard me say things over and over again because we always get new people coming. It costs to hire people. What did I tell y'all when I got tired of sending people down to Concentra? Why do you think I stopped sending people down to Concentra? Because when I looked at the amount of money that the company was spending and it was going to waste, why? Because people would come in, I like them. I said, all right, man, I got to send you down for a drug test. Listen, you don't smoke weed, do you? Do you smoke weed? Because you got to remember, I'm in the crib. I'm in Chicago. I'm in the crib. So, everybody damn near smoke weed. But the reason why I'm asking them straight up, because if you're going to go down there and waste my $100 because it's $99, to fail, I'm not going to send you down there. Just keep it a buck with me. So you can go on with your life. I can go on. But they're going to say, no, I don't smoke weed because they think they finna go to the crib, drink a bunch of water and cranberry juice, and they think they're going to flush it out their system. But it don't work like that. They go down in Concentra, they fail. I got tired of spending that $99. I'm looking at how much money I'm losing because it's being accounted for. So what Big Mark do? Big Mark started doing some research. Man, let's go get some goddamn drug testings. We got a whole office here. Send their ass into the bathrooms. When they bought some cups, when they bought the drug testing kits, we drug tested them in the office. I did the shit myself. So now everybody that comes in, guess what? We doing on-site drug testing. No, you ain't got time, big dog. It was better for me. I'm saving money. A lot of money too. Ooh, I'm saving a lot of money. The first time I went and bought 50 of them things. I'm saving money and you can't beat me. You ain't got time to go home and flush your system. All right, you know what? You ready for this drug test? You think you can pass the drug test? Yeah, I can pass the drug test. All right, because they thinking I'm finna send them for one. I turn around, set that cup right there. All right, go ahead, man. Bathroom, out that door, straight down that hallway to the left. Oh, you want me to do it now? Yeah, I need you to do it now. You want a job? You here to work, right? I said we aggressively hiring. I like you. You was a referral anyway. Somebody referred you, so you pretty much in the door. You came in on a referral. I need you to go down to the hallway to the left. You said you can pass, so it shouldn't be no issue. Oh yeah, instant results. We got instant results. By the time you come back, I got that glove on. I said right there in front of me. Yeah, Big Mark stuck his hand in the piss. Yeah, I got tired of sending people down there. Why? That was part of the initial investment. I'm already spending $100 to send you down there to get drug screened. I'm spending another $34 to run your MVR and your background. So out the ripple, I'm at $135. I need to get my $135 back. If I hire you and I send you out to work, I'm paying you by the hour. I need to get a return on that investment. I'm investing in you. What's my return on you? Are you worth it to me? How do you measure up to this guy over here or that guy over there? How much money have you costed me in claims this year in comparison to this guy over there or that guy over there? So at the end of the year, listen, here go my return on investment. Here go the people that work. This is what each person made. This is how much it cost us, and this is how much we netted off of each person. This guy cost us a lot in claims. Where is he at? Is he on any type of corrective action? Yeah, he on the final. All right, next thing he do, we gotta get him out of here. He costing us too much money. We ain't really making nothing off of him. But all these hours, all this money that he grossed, look how much money he cost us. And all of it was due to claims. We had to get this floor fixed. We had to get this wall fixed. He backed into this dock or some way the bumper came off this truck. We had to get a bumper fixed. He said he didn't know how it happened. 3 mirrors, he kept forgetting to fold the mirrors in. We had to replace 6 mirrors on his truck. 5 times this year, he left the hand truck at a customer. His truck had 50 blankets on it, but every time we did an inventory count, he was 10 blankets at the inventory count at the end of the week. What we doing over here? We running businesses or what? Yes. We know exactly what it's costing us and how much each person is costing me. So this guy lost $4 this year. He lost 40 blankets. We had to replace a bumper. We done had to get 2 floors fixed. We done had to get 8 walls patched up. We had to replace 2 banisters. We see a number there in red with a minus sign in front of it. So now what's the return on this guy? What's the return on my investment for investing in this kid? Each employee is an investment. I need to know if I'm getting my money back. Each truck is an investment. I need to know if I'm getting my money back. And what the return is. Is it low or is it high? You can't be out here winging it. See, now, when I talk about last week, I was talking about all this projection shit, 160, 170 people here. But the formulas for you to keep up with the money, 70 people. But then so many people, man, Mark, you see them come in every call show. Man, I need to figure this shit out. Man, I ain't nah. Well, because this shit right here is what you don't want to do. It's the person that does this shit versus the person that doesn't. The person that does it, you gonna beat the person who doesn't every day of the week. Every day of the week, you're gonna beat that person. I swear for God. I swear to God, now you can wing it if you want. You can wing it if you want, but I wouldn't advise it. All right. So, any questions? Any questions? Why I say the long way? Because you want to do things the long way. You don't want to do shortcuts. You want to know, listen, in order to do things the shortcut way, like these math equations, you first need to master the long way. I don't know how old you are, but back in my day coming up, we had to show our work, right? And it's a reason why we had to show our work, right? Because if you do things the short way and you use calculators and technology to input this information, you still really don't know how to use it. You're relying on technology. You should know how to do this shit yourself. If you had to do it on a piece of paper, you should be able to do the mathematical equation. We can't be taking shortcuts out here, because guess what? That person who does shit the long way, they're going to beat you. They're going to beat you. They're going to beat you. They're going to beat you 40 ways going north. Like, we can't be taking shortcuts out here in these streets. So if you know this shit and you understand the equations and you know the equations, you know the formulas, you can do it the long way, then yeah. For instance, like I said, like these people now, they don't know how to tell time on an analog clock. If you don't know how to tell time on an analog clock, you should not look at a digital clock. You should focus on learning how to tell time on an analog clock and keep figuring that shit out until you master it. If it's something that you don't know how to do, then you need to do it in repetition so that you can master it. And that's just period. You know what I mean? So that's it, man. That's the formula. I wasn't going to do it, and I might put it on members only. I don't know. But here's the thing. I probably won't. You know why? Because 99% of the people aren't going to even watch this video. And the people that do, they're going to watch a few minutes of it. They're going to click off. They're not going to do it. Statistics show us that they're not going to do it. Statistics show us that they're not going to do it. Because statistics show us that most people don't do what's in their best interest. They like to take shortcuts. They like to complain. The only thing they want to know is, where is it at? How you get government contracts? Dumb shit like that. How you get government contracts? Is we going to make money in 2025 like we going to make it in 2021? Because they hoping. They living off hopium. And we don't run businesses off hope. They just hoping things are just up and away like it was in 2021, where you could just be dumb and be successful because everything is just going to fall into your lap. The rates are going to be high, so it just doesn't matter like if you're stupid or not and you're not doing what's in your best interest. You're just going to make money because the volume and the rates are going to be there. Nah. Because those people that think like that, when the market corrects itself, if we ever get that again, which I doubt, the market is just going to correct itself and then you're going to see them fail again. It's the person that knows how to win whenever is the person that's going to always stay on top. So it is what it is. When you pay yourself back from an ROI, do you count that money as just your investment? When you pay yourself back from a ROI, do you count that money as just your investment? If you asking when the business acquires the money back, or let's say if you loan the business money to get the business started, when the business pays you back, the return on investment is return on investment. Paying yourself back and return on investment is two different things, if that's what you're asking. Once you recoup your initial investment, you're just recouping your initial investment. So if you loan a business $50,000 and then you set a payment plan for the business to pay you back, right? That 50,000. Let's say you say, okay, I'm gonna have the business pay me back 1,000 a month over the next 50 months. That 1,000 a month is equal to an expense, right? It's equal to an expense. It's a debit. So that would be calculated in the expenses, right? So whatever the expenses, right, that you spend in a year, that's gonna factor into that. So that's just a debit. Your return on investment and you recouping your initial investment is two different things. It's two different things. All right. So don't make it complicated. If you loan your business $50,000 and you set a payment plan over 50 months at $1,000 a month, you're just seeking to recoup your investment into the business. Different from ROI. That $1,000 is a debit that would account to expenses for the business, right? That's just like a bill being paid. You're just paying a bill. That $1,000, whatever your expenses are, if you spend $12,000 that year because you're spending $1,000 a month, that's going to be part of the expenses, which is ultimately going to be subtracted from the total investment, which is going to give you that net profit for whatever for the business. And then you are going to use the formula net profit over total investment times 100 to get the ROI. So two different things. You're talking about recouping your initial investment. Totally different from ROI. Stop trying to make it more confusing than what it is. Great polo. What's my take on AI? I think it's good if it. Here's the thing: it's good. It's a good tool, but in certain things, you want to do the work. You want to actually do the work so that you know how to do it, right? I think over time, people are going to just get crippled by AI. We've seen people get crippled by technology already. Like I can use the example that I used earlier. Like people get crippled every day by technology. The more people use technology, the more crippled they're going to get. So I think you should actually do the physical work, put pencil to paper, put pen to paper, and do the actual work. And then when you become a master at it, if you want to take shortcuts, fine. But if you don't know how to do something, then you don't want to rely solely on technology because you're relying on the technology. If we have some type of shutdown, some type of technology shutdown where everything gets shut down and you don't have access to the internet or anything, then what you gonna do? So it is what it is. How much do I think you should charge per mile in your car? What do you mean charge per mile in your car? What are you talking about? Charge per mile in your car doing what? Shout out to Barbara Lee. This helps me a lot. I bought a 2011 Ford F350 for $32,000. Spent $12,500 on the trailer. I spent $40K in maintenance the first year and made $124 the first year and 4 months. Jerry says they have calculators online. So here's the thing: a lot of people rely on those calculators, and that's fine, but they don't know how to actually do the formula themselves. So to me, that's an issue. Now, you can say I'm old and shit like that, but at the end of the day, understanding the formula, knowing how to do the formula is just going to make you sharper. Like, listen, I can't get over this shit somebody showed me the other day of these people not being able to read a clock. And I just think as time goes on, People are just gonna get dumber and dumber and dumber. All right, and don't take offense to it, but technology is making people stupid. I think people should actually do the work. Listen, you need to know math. You need to know math, basic math, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and you should know some basic level of algebra. I just think you should know this shit. Anything could happen. Like, you don't never want to rely solely on technology. It makes you. Here's another thing. In business, you gotta stay sharp. You gotta stay witty. You need to be a visionary. If you're constantly relying on technology and or, like someone said, AI to do stuff for you, when are you ever exercising your brain? When do you exercise your brain? Doing formulas, reading, researching, things like that, doing the actual work and not relying on technology and AI to do shit for you. This allows you to exercise your brain. This is what keeps you sharp. This is what keeps you witty. This is what keeps you ahead of the curve. This is what keeps your thoughts and your thought processes flowing. This is what helps you be able to comprehend things better. Like, I had a conversation with someone not too recently. I'm not going to go into specifics, but we having a basic conversation. I'm asking him basic questions, and he can't comprehend what I'm saying on a basic. Once I saw his comprehension wasn't there, I broke the shit down to an elementary level. He still couldn't comprehend. That lets me know this person isn't exercising his brain. He's relying on shit. He's not using his free time wisely. People can't articulate themselves well. They don't have a vernacular. They can't enunciate things properly. Why? Because they're not exercising their brain, because they relying too much on technology. When I'm having a conversation with another business person and they can't understand basic conversation, and I realize it, so I even break the conversation down to a basic elementary school level, and that person still can't comprehend, I already know why. Not exercising their brain. Go to work, do whatever they do every day in repetition, right? Because they just working off they memory. They go home, they eat, they cut on Monday Night Football, they go to sleep, they get up, they do that shit all day. They going to work, doing that shit in repetition. That's all memory. But in between there, they're not doing nothing to exercise their brain. So, no, to everybody that say calculators and AI, no. I say you should learn how to do this stuff the long way. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Like, back in the day, we couldn't take shortcuts. We had to show our work. When we was doing long division, we couldn't do the short way. We had to do long division. We actually had to show our work. Same thing with algebra. We had to show our work. If you didn't show your work, you was going to get the question wrong, even if you just put the right answer. Why? Because we was using those Texas Instruments back in the day. That T180 or whatever that scientific calculator was. If you had a scientific calculator back in the day in math class, you was him. We was going getting them that Texas Instrument. What was it, the T180 or whatever, that Texas Instrument scientific calculator? Yeah, so they said, nah, you got to show your work. Nah, you ain't using that scientific calculator. No. This is how you learned how to do the actual equation, because we just put the information into the scientific calculator and it kicked the answer back. What we're going to do on test day? What we going to do on Friday when we getting quiz for everything that the teacher taught us earlier in the week, or that the professor taught us early in the week? No calculators. So now I've been getting by all week, let's say, using the scientific calculator. Now on Friday, when I got to take the quiz, and the professor or the teacher is walking around sitting at the desk making sure don't nobody pull out no calculator, I can't answer none of the questions because I don't know the formula. I don't remember the formula. And I don't know how to complete the formula because I've been cheating all week using a scientific calculator. So now I'm finna get all the answers wrong. Same thing here. Which contributes to the failure rate. It contributes to the failure rate. Not doing your work contributes to the failure rate. This is why the formula exists. This is why this formula is here. This is why it exists. It exists for you to actually use it. Like, I don't like, so there you have it. Like, I'm not gonna never tell nobody, oh, no, I'm gonna tell you to go do your work. You know why? Because I had to do mine. So and I know now, right? Because look where we are with technology now, and look where the last generation and a half where they are mentally and compared to the generations before them. Mentally, and don't take offense to it. If the shoe don't fit, don't put it on. Mentally, the last generation and a half at their age can't compare to a generation and a half before them mentally at that same time period in life. Can't. The technology didn't exist. We had to show our work, right? And you see the results. I mean, you got people can't even read a clock. If the clock ain't digital, they can't tell time. To me, that's crazy. So, no. No. Elite decisions. If you don't know the formula, how do you know if you're at? And that's another thing. You Even when I tell people to go out and get a CPA, you still. So it's just like I've always said. When we sent shit to the CPA, the accounting was already done in the office before we sent it out. We just sent it out to them to overlook it, right? Cut us the checks to pay people, and then to have our taxes done at the end of the year. But we did in-house accounting, right? So, like, you got to check behind people. You want to make sure shit is right, too. Like, you want to know how to do this shit on your own. Like me, I want to check behind. When Genesis was doing everything, she made mistakes sometimes. People would say, man, Mark, I didn't get paid for this. I didn't get paid for that. And then I would have to go behind. And I would check behind to make sure she was doing things correctly. Because, humans, we make mistakes. But what would I look like having someone accepting manifests from drivers and accepting routes from drivers so she could keep account for what each driver is doing and submit it to me so I could submit it to the accounting firm, and she knows how to do it. She has the spreadsheet. She created the spreadsheet. She does all this shit. But I don't know this shit to even go behind her and check her. Or if she makes a mistake and someone comes to me because she made a mistake, just human error. People make mistakes. I can't even go behind her and check her work to see whether it was right or wrong because I don't even know the damn equation myself. When you sit at the top of a business, you're supposed to know every single thing about your business. So I don't listen. Shortcuts, winging it, I'm not a fan of it. I'm gonna listen. Anybody that wings it, takes shortcuts, don't do what's in their best interest, don't know equations, don't know math, don't understand profit margin, don't understand ROI, don't know their cost per mile, don't know their operational costs. man, to me, you're just um, a half-ass uh uh hustler. You're not even a full hustler. You a half-ass hustler. Just you damn sure ain't no businessman or businesswoman. What corporate business doesn't keep accounting of money that's coming in and going out? I just don't understand it. But yet and day we see people come up here, we see other people that's in the space. Like, bro, I don't get it. I don't get it. Mark, you got a specific video on Fidelitone. I know you covered multiple 3PLs just hunt. Yeah, I got video on Fidelitone, but it's maybe 2.5 years old, so it may be a little outdated. But yeah, I got one on Fidelitone, but it may be outdated. What lanes of knowledge should owner operators spend their free time working on besides mathematics? Pretty much everything I talk about, man. You should know everything about your business. So it's not just math. You should know the ins and the outs of your business. Whatever your business entails, every single thing your business entails, you should know about it. Everything. From operations to HR to accounting to fleet management, all aspects to sales, to lead generation, operations, all aspects of business. All aspects of business. Anything that your business tells you should know about it. But guess what? A lot of these things that I just named, what do you need? You need math, accounting, math, fleet, math, operation. There's a form of math there. So math is very important. It's very important. I see a lot of people duck and dodge it because they don't know it. They may be illiterate. They don't know it. They struggle with it. Too bad. Too bad. I guarantee you, if you tackle the things that you struggle with, it's going to make you a better person and a better business person. The key to scale, one of the main things about scaling, you got to know math. This is something that I've recently come to realize when I came to realize earlier this year that the main reason why people were failing because they just didn't know what they cost to run a business. That's why I've been focused on this shit for like 6 months now. To the point where people like you want the money or not is getting upset with me because I keep talking about this basic stuff and he wants me to talk about more advanced stuff. And one of the main contributing factors that people don't want to do this shit is because they don't know how to do this shit. They struggle with math. Well, listen, if you're struggling with math, go find something else to do because you're going to need this. You're going to need math every single day. If you're running a box truck business, a cargo van business, every single day you got to do math. How much fuel you put in the tank? How much money did you gross? How much money did you spend? All this is math. People throwing bullshit ass cost per mile numbers. I just be letting some people slide with their cost per mile. I know that shit ain't their cost per mile. You know why content creators don't talk about it? Because they butcher the shit. We already done seen one person do it a couple weeks ago. We seen one person butcher profit margin. Yeah, one person that watches my content and then tried to take my cost per mile thing and went over on his channel, butchered it. I had to hold him accountable behind the scenes. He probably watching now. He know who he is. held him accountable behind the scenes. I show him mercy and grace. He lucky. I show him mercy and grace. So I know that content creators don't know it. Yep, I had a whole conversation in the DM back and forth. So I know it's content creators out here running on the goddamn winging it. That's why they don't never hit the link. They just talk crazy behind the scenes, but they won't hit that link though. So every day is math. You can't avoid it. That's the problem. That's one of the main issues. You don't know math. Not one of my favorite subjects in school, but in any business, especially a business that revenue is involved, you're going to do math every day. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like I I understand that, being in business, you have to always stay abreast, right? You can't let your mind, like SD Walt said, some people are intellectually lazy, and then they think, oh, I'm gonna go read a few books and that's gonna make me smart. Nah. Just starting to read books ain't gonna make you smart. You gotta do a lot more than read books. Reading books is good, but a lot of people read books that aren't helping their situation at the particular time. It's a lot more to exercising your brain than that's reading books. Earlier this year, I did a 3-day water fast. Why did I do that? It was healthy, right? Clean my body, but it was a mind strengthening thing, right? Because your mind controls everything. Your mind tells you to get up in the morning. Your mind tells you to raise your left hand. Your mind tells you to raise your right hand. Your mind tells you to blink. Your mind tells you to scratch. Your mind tells you, okay, go make you something to eat. My mind tells me, I know I need to get to the gym, but if I'm lazy, you know what? It's my mind that's defeating me. If I know I'm going to the gym and I say I don't want to, and I just don't go, it's not the fact that I was lazy, it's because I was weak in the mind. I know I need to take my ass to the gym. My mind is making me go. My mind is making me stay. So I do things like that to strengthen my mind. I went on a 3-day water fast, right? 72 hours. I knew it was going to get rough, but guess what? The only thing that was going to break me is if I allowed my mind to break me. So when it got tough and I started feeling like pins and needles and shit because my body was eating the fat, right? It was burning and my body was burning that fat for fuel. And I started feeling like pins and needles. I had to fight through that shit. The only thing that was going to make me break that fast and go get something to eat was a weak mind. So that exercise, it just helped me sharpen my discipline. So it's a lot more to it than just reading books. A lot of people ain't like, you can't tell me nothing. Like anything I want to do, I'm gonna do it. So if I come into something and I want to be a business and I know math is associated with it and I got to do it and I'm not good at math, right? Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to spend an ample amount of time getting comfortable with learning math. If I understand I have to understand what it's costing me to run my business on a day-to-day basis, I'm going to get comfortable with doing it. I'm going to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Anything that I want to do, I'm going to be good at it. Anything that I set out to do and I invest my time and my money into, I'm going to be good at it. Even YouTube. Look at this. Look, when I came in and said, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do YouTube. Look, it didn't take me no time. Once I came in, I analyzed everything. I saw what the competition was, and I analyzed the competition. I analyzed the whole landscape and the layout. I started analyzing the consumers. The consumers are the viewers, right? You're the consumers. You're consuming information from content creators and influencers. So once I analyzed the competition, I analyzed the consumers. I said, oh, this is a piece of cake. This ain't nothing. I got this. We got the resources and we got the experience. We got the education. This my shit. I'm finna take over this shit. Anything I set my mind to do, I become obsessed with it. Why? Because I don't like to lose. I have to be the best at it. I have to see some level of success from it. We don't fail in anything. My mind won't allow it. If we see ourselves struggling, okay, what are our weak points? All right, I'm gonna focus on my weak points. What are our strengths? All right, here are our strengths. All right, how can we make these strengths even stronger? We're gonna make our strong points stronger, but we're gonna spend more time with the things we weak at. All right, we need to be more consistent. All right, we need to be more entertaining. We need to add some level of entertainment into the education. All right, you know what? I see what the demographic is. The demographic looks like me. They come from backgrounds similar to mine. So I can talk to them the way I would talk to my friends. Okay, I see that the competition is just providing surface level information. All right, we're going to go above and beyond because I have the experience that they don't have. This is what's going to set me. I'm just using the content creation as an example because I wasn't creating content throughout my growth. One, this shit didn't even exist when I got started. So I'm using this is because this is something that you guys seen me start and you're growing with me. So you can look at, okay, well, damn, we can look at how he's investing in this and how he's consistent with this and growing this. So yeah, we can only imagine how he is with any other type of business. So going back to the math, if you know, yo, you weak at math or you weak at doing your books, then you need to work on that. Do I want to stream every day? Hell no. But I make sure I carve out a certain amount of time, right, in my day because it's a goal we trying to meet. And I know in order for me to meet that goal, right, because I set the goal, I have to put in the effort. And I can't stop until I meet that goal. And once I meet that goal, I may stop. Same thing in your box truck business or your cargo van business. The main issue is the math. Just what it is. All right, was there any questions? I said I was going to take 2 or 3. SD Walsh, also when you start reading, you need to read on your literacy level. Got to be honest with yourself. That's something too. Like I think a lot of people do try to read advanced stuff and they don't understand. Like you ask them, okay, well, what did you read? Like, what do you think about what you read? They can't give you a summary of what they read because they didn't comprehend it. This is why you got different levels of education. You got kindergarten, you got first grade, you got second, third, fourth. Each level is preparing you for the next. So if you ain't an avid reader, you have to start with something less advanced so you can work your way up, because you have to be. Listen, reading is a waste of time if you're not able to comprehend what you read. Same thing with this. A lot of people don't comprehend what's being said. And I realized that throughout my journey of creating content. This is why we're still stuck on this. And I think one of the main reasons that we're still stuck on this and a lot of people struggle is because of some of the stuff that we talked about earlier. Just the society we live in, the laziness, and the technology. Relying on technology to give you the answers. It's just what it is. Listen, ain't nothing cool about being a dumb business owner. On the real. Ain't shit cool about that shit. Ain't shit cool about being stupid. Nothing. You can be fly, cool, and be smart. I'm a smart, fly dude. Straight up. Ain't shit cool about being a half ass. Like, it's cool to be smart. It's cool to be intelligent. It's cool to know what the hell you talking about. All the shit that people make uncool is actually the opposite. But as a business owner, listen, it's not cool to not be smart. You have to be smart. You gotta be. Can't be no dumbass business owner. And that's just on the real. So if you know you're not intelligent, you have to make yourself intelligent. Why? Because shit changes. Nothing stays the same. You got to stay ahead of the curve. You got to continue to educate yourself. You got to be a visionary. Listen, nothing stays the same. You can't be complacent. If you just been getting by, I swear for God on everything I love, eventually it's gonna catch you. Shit changes. Look at all these old guys that were sitting on all these boards, Toys R Us board of directors. Look how they dropped the ball. Borders, Barnes and Nobles, look how they dropped the ball. All the big box retailers, Ames, Venture, Zare, Montgomery Ward, look how they dropped the ball. Why? At some point they weren't thinking. At some point they lost their ability to envision what the future would look like. So guess what? Smarter guys came in and pushed them out the way. You got a guy like Elon who's steady reinventing himself. Why? Because we see what we see case studies of the past. People get into a position, they sit in these positions for decades, and then somebody comes along later on that's new, that presents fresh ideas, that's a visionary, and puts them out the way. But they got complacent thinking that shit was going to stay that way forever because they had been making money for decades and decades and decades until they wasn't anymore. That's why you look at guys now like Elon and Jeff, they are visionaries. They're putting their hands in a little bit of everything because they don't want to end up like these guys. You think Elon is sitting around complacent with Tesla? He wasn't complacent with PayPal. He wasn't complacent with the first company that he sold before PayPal to start PayPal. He wasn't complacent with PayPal. He made the money and kept flipping it in and out. Tesla is there. Now we talking about space. We also talking about robotics. We also talking about planting chips in people's brains. He's diversified. Why? Because we see what happened when people don't diversify. You think he's complacent just on electric vehicles? You think that's as far as his mind is taken? No, he's studying and researching and developing and interacting with smart people in a multitude of different things. Not complacent. Complacency is what kills people. It's a bunch of case studies you can go look at. A bunch of them. Luckily for me, I lived through a lot of these dinosaurs get displaced. Complacency. Not thinking outside the box. Even me. I saw an opportunity, a once in a lifetime opportunity to get out earlier than my already planned exit. I took advantage. In hindsight, man, I did the right thing. My industry has changed a lot since I first entered. You got to keep things moving. You got to be a visionary. You got to keep thinking. What if I was just complacent and just thought things were going to last? People were always going to want to work hard. People were always going to come to work. I was just blind to the gig economy. I was just blind to everything else that was bubbling. Even on my rise through the time period, I was right. All this stuff was bubbling. This is why I say, shit, by 2025, I need to be out. If I'd have been complacent and had not been a visionary and not have been looking into other things and just understanding the landscape and just where this thing was going, I'm not complacent in nothing. I'm not complacent in nothing. I tackle the tough challenges. Anytime, this is why I dropped the link. I'm just the type of person that meets challenges head on. I don't run, I don't duck, I don't hide, you got people that meet challenges, they gonna go take a nap, go to sleep, think they gonna sleep their problems away. Listen, any challenges that I met with, I like to face them head on. Because guess what? You got to deal with it anyway. Most people's challenges math. They cost. Why people don't want to deal with this, I don't know. Beats the hell out of me. But if I were you, I would meet that challenge head on. You can't be a successful business person if you don't know math. U.S. is one of the leading countries behind math and science. Yep. Why you think China don't let their kids? They TikTok over there is different. TikTok is their technology, but the version of TikTok that's over here in the United States is not the same version over there. See, they don't allow their kids over there to indulge in what TikTok over here, children over here get to indulge in. All these dumbass, she got on vape and all this dumb shit, the handicap vape challenge or whatever. hell these people is doing, keep popping up on my goddamn. Every time I do go on YouTube, I see this retarded ass push the neck or whatever, some type of retarded ass vape challenge. They don't indulge in none of that goofy shit. They TikTok over there is educational. So look at the generation that's coming up now, the guys in their 20s. Look how they come up and they struggle. So imagine the next generation after, because they so busy doing this dumbass vape challenge. This is what they focus on. This is why when you driving down the street, you see them, all these kids, they put their phone up and they steady rehearsing these dumbass TikTok challenges, and they keep doing the coordinating this shit. They focus all their time on doing these dumbass challenges and getting all the coordination right so that they can hopefully go viral, instead of learning math, instead of learning how to read an analog clock, instead of reading. So it ain't gonna get better, it's gonna get worse. Why you think China allows it? They want our kids to be stupid. They want our kids to be stupid. They want to continue to advance technology. They want to be the leader in technology for the world. They want the next generation of their kids to steady push technology forward. They want to be the innovators of technology. So yeah, we're going to feed them. Why do you think Trump wants to get rid of it so bad? Anybody that's not blind can see that. So it is what it is. They're going to keep outperforming us. Their kids are going to keep outperforming ours. So what you see now, it's only going to get worse. And see, this is what your favorite people, they don't talk about this shit. This is why this shit is important. This is why I show the math and I show the long version. This is why I encourage you to do the long version, so that you can beat your competition. Ain't finna do what's in their best interest. I've showed you and proved it to you that 1,000,001 times already. They not finna do this shit. They gonna give up. They gonna try and they gonna give up. So if you just gotta put a little bit of more effort in to win, or to win harder or win more, what's the issue? If I was new entrant and I was on the other side of the camera and consuming this, I'd be like, oh shit, this sweet. I'm finna come over and take over all of this. These cats sweet. They ain't doing what they need to do, so no problem. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. They don't know math. They don't want to do the math. They running on the lamb. They running on the winging it. Listen, we gonna come in. We gonna run efficiently. We gonna run efficient. We gonna focus on small wins. We gonna go after small wins. We gonna put it all in the pot. We gonna stack it. We gonna stack it. We gonna stack it every day, consistently over time. They gonna deal with these ups and downs, chasing these backs and all this shit, hoping for this haymaker pandemic 2021 replay again. While they waiting on that and hoping and wishing and praying and not calculating their costs and don't know their costs per mile, and doing these retarded ass vape challenges and doing all this dumb shit. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna calculate my costs. I'm gonna run efficiently every day. I'm gonna keep stacking these small wins. And then when they finally realize it, it's gonna be too late. I'm gone already. I'm gone. Ain't no catching up. I'm gone. You can't catch up. Keep listening to all this surface level bullshit. Aren't looking to acquire more advanced information, sold on all this old surface level ass shit. Y'all get sold on the same surface level shit day in and day out. And then do this. Surface level than a motherfucker. This is what you do. Every day. Where is that shit at? Hold on, here you go. Surface level shit. Hold on. Listen to all this surface level shit, and then you put this in the chat. Gems. You drop a bunch of gem emojis for surface level shit, and you don't even desire to seek more advanced information. How you expect to grow? How you expect to grow if you don't challenge yourself? I love a challenge. Why you think I like to debate? Because it's healthy. It's mental exercise for me. I know I'm going to win, but it's still great exercise for me because it keeps me sharp. I have to stay witty. I have to stay on my toes. I can't go research now because I don't know what the opponent is going to bring to the table. So I have to be off the cusp. This is why I want to do it. You think I'm doing it for entertainment. I'm doing it so I can exercise my brain. I'm using whoever decides to come up here to exercise my brain because it keeps me sharp. I have to come off the cusp. I got to be witty. Ain't no time. Can't let my brain get complacent. Got to keep working it. Got to keep working it. Got to keep consuming. Got to keep it sharp because what else happens as you grow older? Your brain is just like everything else. It's just like everything else. When I had, here's another thing. Stop hanging out with people that, because I know we a little bit off topic now, but this where we at with it. You never know with a Martha mental live stream. Stop hanging out with people who listen. And this is what a lot of y'all problem is. Y'all still running around with people. You want to go this way up, but you still hang with people that's doing the same shit. The people that is still doing the same shit from 20 years ago, this is what I do. I give them a minute. Man, what's up? How your mama doing? Oh yeah, y'all still over there on off of 89th? Yeah, yeah. Oh, y'all still over there, huh? Yeah, you went to the the all school reunion out there on 159th? Nah, I didn't pull up. How was it? Okay, bet. All right, bet. All right, well, man, tell everybody I said hi. I keep it moving. I'm gone 2-3 minutes. They doing the same shit. We ain't got shit in common. Y'all want to talk about you want to be business people and you still hanging with people who ain't doing shit. This is why you can't elevate it. The people who's in my circle still is getting to the money still. I don't want to talk about dumbass shit. I don't want to talk about dumb shit. I don't want to talk about your personal relationship shit, all the toxic shit that's going on in your relationship. I want to talk about the money, man. Where is this money at? Where there's some money over there? Man, what Jerome Powell talk? Did you catch Jerome Powell? What he talking about? I ain't catch it, man. Tell me. Give me a brief synopsis of what he said, man. What I need to do. Is it something I need to do? Is it something pressing? even the chicks that I date, my girl, we talk about money. We talk about what we don't talk about. She a woman. I let her talk about some shit, you know, occasionally, but for the most part, we talking about up. I don't want to hear shit about no dumb shit. Don't tell me about no dumb shit. Don't send me no dumb shit. Don't talk to me about no dumb shit. I don't want to hear it. I'm not interested in it. I give each person 2 to 3 minutes of some dumb shit, and then this is what they get. They get that deuce chucked at them. Some people I don't even tell. I just hit the horn on them. Keep going. Hit the horn on them. Keep going. Some people I know they finna talk. If I see them, I try to turn around and make sure they don't see me. I don't got time for dumb shit. Out the way. And that's another thing that some of y'all need to do. Y'all need to get out the way. You need to disappear. Get out the way. Focus on your business. Grind and grow your business. Get little. Disappear. And first 4.5 years, I was little. You didn't see me. I was too busy building. I might have, got a breath of fresh air, every now and again. But my days, 7 days a week, were consumed with growth. Every single day. And a big part of my day, I had to contribute a big part of my day to what? Doing math. Don't think we got off the math. We back on the math because this is what the live stream was initially about. Money. Profit. Return on investment. So shout out to Running Warrior. Let me see. So yeah, so I think that's it, man. I think I'm done for the day. I won't get to the gym. Um, can I use a part of your speech on the importance of knowing your numbers? Can you use it? Where are you gonna use it at? Guys in my industry are giving me the exact same pushback. What's your industry? Go ahead. I mean, I don't care. What's your industry? Technology, digital killed lots of things, but made stuff convenient. It made stuff convenient, but it made people stupid. It made people stupid. It made people lazy, and it made people complacent. The people that are willing to go above and beyond and actually do and show the work are going to always defeat the people that take shortcuts. Shortcuts are for people that know the work. They know, they understand the long form, and they can show their work. So this makes it easier for those people. For the people who don't know the work, who can't calculate the equation, they shouldn't be using a shortcut. And I'm just going to stand on that. Shortcuts are for people who can. Shortcut is a tool for people who know how to actually do the physical long form version of the work, and they can show it. They can do the equations. They can do it manually, right? So if I run a restaurant and I'm on the fries, or I got a guy on the fries, oh, I know how to do. Or I got a restaurant and I got a guy on the fries. I know every single aspect of my restaurant. I know how to cook the fries. I know how long I should keep the fries in the grease. I know how much salt I should put on the fries. But if I can save money by getting a robot to do it, all right, boom, I'm gonna use technology to say I'm gonna make an investment into this technology, and in a year's time, I'm gonna come back and see what my ROI is on that investment. But I'm utilizing that technology to reduce time and reduce cost, because now I don't have to pay a human to do that. I made this initial investment, and over time, I'm gonna get a bigger return on my investment because I don't got to pay benefits. I don't got to pay this, that, and the third. I don't have to deal with rising minimum wage costs, things like that, right? But guess what? At the end of the day, if that machine breaks down for the day, because it's still a machine, it's going to malfunction. I still know how to open that bag up, dump the fries in that thing, and drop them down in that grease. I know that a minute and a half in that deep fry, them fries going to be done. I know how to bring that damn thing up, turn them over, and put some salt on it, mix it around, and put it in a little bitty container. I know how to do it. But if I didn't know how to do it, if I didn't know how long I should put the fries in the grease, if I didn't know how much salt to put on them, now I got people complaining, hey man, these fries too salty, make me another batch. Now that's contributing to shortage, right? Shortage is loss. So I'm losing money. It's the same thing. It's the same shit. Technology is there to make things convenient for people that know how to do shit the manual way. But if you're coming into something and you never learned how to do something the long way or the manual way, and you just went straight to the cheat code, and then when the cheat code is broken, and now you got to rely on good old hard elbow grease muscle and manual thought and manual labor, you don't know what to do. You're like a deer in headlights. Hit the like button. I've been forgetting to say hit the like button. Hit the like button. You like a deer in headlights. And this is what we see. A lot of people are like deers in headlights. And this is why, like the guy who came up a few weeks ago on the call-in show, basic conversation couldn't comprehend. Basic conversation could not comprehend. Basic shit. Do I feel bad? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't feel bad. Why? Why should I? Why should I? Why should I feel bad for people that don't want to do what's in their best interest? In a time period where knowledge is at your fingertips. You don't even gotta leave your house. Everybody got a phone. I used to have to go to the library. Whatever I couldn't get in the encyclopedia, I had to go to the library. There was no smartphones. There was no information age technology. To get a library card, go down to the Harold Washington Library, to my neighborhood library, go in a card catalog, or go look at some microfilm and do my research. Only thing you got to do is go to Google, and most people don't even want to go do that. They don't want to sit down long enough and educate themselves. They offer free business courses on YouTube. MIT offers something. People don't want to take that. So at the end of the day, in the meantime, in between time, no, I don't feel bad. So All right, man. Commercial appliances, they only want to know what to charge, and they don't know their cost of business. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you did commercial appliances and you educate people over there in that industry, and people just want to know, I get that all the time. People too. I get that all the time too. People come to me, man, Mark, how much should I charge for this? How much should I charge for that? How much should I charge for this? And they want me to tell them what to charge because they don't understand the formula to determine what they should charge. And I always see me, I never give people the answer. The first thing I say, well, what it costs you to operate your business? What's your cost per mile if they run a middle mile? And nobody never knows the answer. Somebody just recently came up on one of the call-in shows, I think Friday night, and asked me that question. I'm like, well, what does it cost you? I don't know. Well, then how can I give you the answer? How can we determine, or the other night when Lou Jackson would say, oh, just run at $2 a mile and you'll be fine. And I had to jump down his throat, pause. How can you determine what to charge a person if you don't know what your operation cost is? Or if you're in another industry, let's say like the food industry, what your production cost is? How can you create a profit? You know, if you want to, whatever your profit margin is, if you don't know what it costs you. So yeah, you get it in your industry too. I get it over here every single day, and it's just baffling to me, man. It's really baffling to me. It's baffling to me. It's really baffling because to me, I think it's just so simple. Like, you got a business, you charging. Well, okay, boom. It costs us this much to produce, right? So this is what our cost is. So now we need to determine what should we charge. I'm in moving. I'm paying guys $25 an hour. All right. So guess what? I want to make 100% on my labor. So if it's costing me $50 an hour for two guys at $25 a piece, I want to make 100%. All right. So I'm going to charge $100 an hour. I want to make 100% on my labor. So I want to make $25 off of each guy at 100%. So I'm going to charge $100 an hour. So I know I'm making 100% profit off of my labor. What's the average cost of materials for a one bedroom? This is what we use on average. How much does that calculate to be? 45, 50 bucks in materials for an average one bedroom, or from the average up to an average two bedroom? Okay. And that includes the material, that includes point A to point B within a 10-mile radius, so on and so forth. All right, I'm charging a $150 truck fee. Once we go outside the city lines, for each additional mile we go, the truck fee is going to go up. Like, you don't just guess this shit. Oh, I guess I'm going to charge this much. I had people come up on the call-in show. One guy, he was charging, who remember that call-in show where the guy called up like 3 times and I told him to go down on this price? And he was just, what? Why would I go down, man? I'm already not, da-da-da-da. I said, go down. I told him to go down $10 an hour. He didn't understand why, because he was showing me that his competition was charging like $60 more an hour. Y'all remember that guy that came up 3 times? And then in 30 days, what did he come back and say? How do you think I knew what to tell him? Even though he didn't understand why I was telling him that? How do you think I knew? Because I took the time to go through every single aspect of his business. I took my time to look to see what the competition looked like in that market. All right, go down to $90 an hour. In 30 days, he came back and told me, just like everybody does, and I'm not, man, you the truth. Man, I'm booking moves. I got more moves. I'm turning moves away. He was overcharging, paying too much attention to his competition, And just because they were charging an exponential amount more, he's focusing and basing his competition off one platform. I'm looking at I'm looking at the market that he's in. I'm looking at the competition on that platform. You're overcharging. Go down $10 an hour. Made all the difference in the world. I knew what it cost him to run his business. He was overcharging. Once I looked at everything and looked at his material costs, looked at his labor costs, all aspects of his business, I took like an hour with him on that show. He listened to me, and 30 days later, he came back. Big difference. It was day and night with his business. I did what he didn't do. I analyzed and I calculated everything. I did the math. I did the math. And that's what people not doing. Mike Reed, they not doing the math. I don't know why. They're not doing it. So, all right, man. What time is it? I'm gonna go to the gym. I think you guys got it. I'm probably gonna go take the first half of this out, make it into a video because the second half was kind of all over the place. I just the last 2 days I've been having a need to just like every now and again to get to these points where I just get fed up with a lot of the bullshit that I be hearing. And I notice is whenever I do these call-in shows, for them 3 months where I didn't do them call-in shows, I didn't really have to, go on these whole lectures like this. It's whenever I start back doing these call-in shows, it just never fails. Great, yeah, he making a killing now. What happens when a person come get a coaching session on a call-in show for me, and and they actually listen and go apply it? You stop hearing from them. They come back, they tell you, man, bro, you turned my business around. They come back, give me my credit, give me my kudos, and that's it. They too busy running, ain't got time. The people that actually listen, they making it. It's the people that don't listen, right? Because when you come get the information from me, there's work that's associated with it. There's physical work in the field, right? That a lot of people don't want to do. And then there's work for free that I say work for free, and then y'all got mad and hit the dislike button. When you off of work and you sitting at home and you going through everything that you did that day and you calculating your costs and you also searching for other opportunities, you doing all the work that's not directly associated with the revenue that's coming in to make your business better and gross more in the long run. People don't want to do that because you're not getting compensated for that work. You're not getting compensated for that time. And then that's what leads to complacency. And that's what leads to you staying in the same position you in till eventually you just get displaced. So, all right, man, I'm out. Peace.